I said, hey, yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy MoHodls, and we're back with another video. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. Today, we're going to be talking about everything Bitcoin. That is right, everything Bitcoin. The monthly candles have closed. I want to give you an opinion on what I think for Bitcoin is coming next. And also, if you guys have not been paying attention, in 2021, we called the local top on Bitcoin, literally. And it turned out to be a macro top. Of course, you know, I was wrong about the C leg, but that's why you have stop losses. And also, I called the bottom on Bitcoin as well. Go look at my video I posted in 1231. You can see that I was talking about how the range low, if it's held or if it reclaims, we're going to go back much higher. And that's exactly what happened. Not only that, but I called the range high the following month after, which was literally a month after the last video. And today, here we are, right? We're trending above the range. We are in very, very good territory from where we came from, especially around 15K. And, you know, I'm excited for what's coming next. Of course, you know, it is boring right now. There's not that much excitement. And I want to give you guys the scoop on what I think is next. And also, I do this for documentation purposes. At the end of the day, we are all looking to become better versions of ourselves, whether that's, again, you know, documenting our trades or trying to pick up something new. But enough with the jibber jabber. Again, taking a look at the overall trend for Bitcoin, this is using Coinbase's chart. Bitcoin is known to always have some type of range bottom before taking off. Now, the range bottoms will never be exact, because at the end of the day, no pattern will be exact, because guess what? If everything panned out the same exact way, everyone will be rich, right? And also, you know, the market makers, the big money, they set traps for you guys to fall in, so then that they can take your money. That's the harsh way of saying it, but that's as brutally honest as it gets. Because again, you know, when these big wicks happen, these are stop losses, right? These are not people, you know, like getting, you know, second chances, if you will, right? So again, these are mainly stop losses, people losing out, losing money for the most part before the market does go on to set higher highs, which is actually where people enter after seeing new highs, and then again the market dumps on them and they don't learn their lesson, right? It's the never changing narrative of, you know, people just getting stopped out buying at the highs and selling low, right? Buy low or buy high, sell low, right? I mean, it's kind of a meme, but you know, the point of it all is that you should just be patient when you are trading. And even right now, right? I mean, when we look at the range that we're in, we are very, very bullish, right? Now, granted, when we look at this RSI on the weekly, it's just very, very clean. And even the monthly, you know, it's pretty clean, okay? And I don't know what else to say except that, yes, it is possible for a correction. I can see price falling down to around 23.5K. And from there, we'll probably maybe see, you know, a bottom form, but we'll have to see how that pans out, because overall, for me, you guys know this, like the halving is coming around the corner, and most of the time when the halving occurs, we do have a small dip, which kind of leads us to a new high. But usually before the halving, sometimes there is a correction like we've seen back over here. So, you know, in this instance, it went from 3K all the way to 12K or 13K. And right now we went from 15K to 30K, so it's not as big of a jump upwards, but it is possible to see some sort of correction and then maybe start panning upwards again when the halving is approaching. But I'm going to be honest, guys, I'm not super bullish like I would be, because again, this is kind of the chart that I'm leaning towards. And, you know, because we've seen 5 waves up, that kind of leads me to believe that the market is not going to see new highs in 2024, right? And I know that kind of is sad to say out loud, but I don't know, right? I feel like this time is different. And the reason why I say that, and hear me out, because again, you know, whether you agree or disagree, that's fine. But I'm starting to become more and more bearish. Of course, you know, I was bullish down here, but nothing has changed with the fact that, hey, listen, we have stepped into wave 3 here. And when you look at this chart in a 5-wave sequence, which you see clearly here, right? Every 4 years is a new cycle, and about a year of a correction that takes place on wave 2, wave 4, and now we're seeing the bigger move downwards, which is a bigger ABC that we're going to see play out. And again, it is quite interesting because, you know, this wave A, which you see here, has pretty much hit wave 3. And that only happens after a 5-wave up. And as you can see, every single time we see a wave push upwards, there's a higher low, but never does price come back down to the previous highs, which it does over here, wave A to wave 3. in 2020 over 2017. So it is kind of worrying, and that's kind of why I'm a little bearish. Now, the one thing I will say is that it's going to be interesting to see how this B wave does pan out, because if we do get above, this 46K region, that's going to definitely change a few things. But this ABC correction can span out in a few different ways, and the reason why I say that is for a few reasons, right? So number one, I'm going to make sure this is actually under the Fibonacci, or actually on the Fib base level. There you go, boom. So price should not get above 39.57K, 39.5K. That's what I meant to say, right? But the reason why that level is important for my non-Elliott waivers is because the B wave should not go past a 61.8 retracement. Now, granted, there are wicks and those can be made as exceptions, but for the most part, you don't want to see it go past the 61.8 region. Otherwise, it's not a zigzag. But this can literally be a few different corrections, right? This could turn into a big triangle, right? That's possible. It can also turn into a flat, which can be A, B, C like this, right? Similar correction that we've seen over here in the 2021 cycle, right? Where we saw an ABC, but then a failed upwards motive wave, right? So there's a few different ways it can play out. And even then, like this correction can actually go up to 69K. And even make a small all-time high, then come all the way back down to 17K, which is actually insane to say, because technically it would be putting in a new high, but it'll be the ultimate fake out, because flat corrections technically do reach up to the wave 5 level. So again, there's many ways this can play out, but for the most part, if we don't have clear breakout structure above this, this gray shaded region, then I'm going to be very, very bearish and be very, very cautious. And right now, the stock market is making new all-time highs, which is actually correlated with Bitcoin heavily, because usually when the stock market does well, so does Bitcoin. And right now, Bitcoin is lagging behind the stock market. Even though the stock market is pushing for new highs, Bitcoin has continued to chop sideways and has not really been, very bullish. So that's kind of concerning. I don't know exactly how that plays out, but again, a lot of things are changing for this chart as well, where we've seen Bitcoin make a double top. We've seen the A wave cross into wave 3, and dominance didn't reclaim like it usually does in the bear market. So lots of things are changing. Behavior is changing, all ironically, while the A wave has hit wave 3, which leads me to believe that something different is going to happen, and a lot of people are going to get caught off guard. But I still do want to talk about how I am still bullish in the short term because of how nice the RSI looks. Again, this is a very bullish territory for the RSI to be on the 2-week. If we've learned anything from the past, anytime price is above, 54-ish, that's actually a bullish signal, right? For the most part. Now, granted, there may be dips in between, but you should be buying any dips over 10 to 15% if you believe the market is going to continue going back up. Again, I'm not as bullish as I was back down here at 15K, but I'm still bullish for the most part for price to continue chopping along here. But we'll have to see how that plays out. So again, I mean, every catalyst is kind of set into place. We've seen the ETFs kind of come out. MicroStrategy keeps buying. People are starting to see more headlines, but we'll see exactly how it all unfolds. And I want to take a closer look at Bitcoin on the short-term charts, because it's kind of important to take a look at all these different charts, especially when we're looking at potentially day trading these, or or swing trading them, I should say. And I want to pull up the Binance chart, because we are sitting in this range here, and as it looks, it's kind of weird. And the reason why I say that is because we're seeing like this slow choppiness where we don't really see a big correction. It's kind of boring, and for some reason I'm just so bullish. And you're probably saying, how the fuck can you be bullish right now? Like, look at this downwards price action, right? This kind of looks ugly and boring, and right here kind of mimics that same price action. Now, granted, it's not as clean or of a channel, but I want you to look at how small the volatility is. Like, you can see this is a like this candle over here is a 6% drop. Let's call it a 6% drop. The next drop is a 4% drop, and then the next drop is 3%. So every single time like we see a close take place that's supposed to be quote unquote red, the volatility is dropping, and that leads me to believe that we're probably going to see another move upwards before we see one downwards. Now, granted, It can break down, of course. These are all things, you know, that we must consider. But for me, I'm actually bullish in the short term as well. RSI doesn't look bad either. We're also sitting on a you know, a low volume node, and you know, this is very, very interesting because we have not gotten here yet at this moment, but we are approaching it, which is kind of interesting. And this is kind of like a, you know, like a void right in between here, which is actually filled pretty quickly, interestingly enough. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I think it's going to take more time for it to play out. But I want to just give you guys my, you know, bias on the whole market, because again, Bitcoin does play a big role in the whole market, and I'm bullish on total. Like, I want to make that clear as well. I'm bullish on total. I think the whole market is due for a big move up. I think a lot of people are getting caught off guard. I don't know what the next narrative is going to be, but I do believe this pushes up here, simply because we've been in this range for quite a while. We're holding the lows here. We've set down a very good foundation. We had over, what, a year of consolidation at this level, 421 or 420 days of sideways price action. And we've held it very well. RSI is also catching steam. Again, we have the narratives and everything else playing out, so we'll see how that ages. And again, Bitcoin dominance does look very interesting. I don't know how it plays out, but if you're interested in alts, you know, I have my alerts set even. I'm gonna see how it all ages. But if Bitcoin is not able to reclaim, you know, this, what, 52% high, we're probably gonna break down. And potentially, you know, if you have Bitcoin and you want to increase your sats, trading altcoins is not a bad idea sometimes. It's been proven historically to do very well, because clearly you can see here in 2021, you know, a lot of alts went on a rampage, and there's a lot of opportunity to capitalize on that. But again, we'll see how that all ages. It's going to be very interesting because, you know, the market is constantly changing. I don't think Bitcoin makes a new high so easily. So there's going to be something that happens. I don't know exactly what. But again, you know, if you guys are subscribed, liking this content, you will get me on your feed, and I'll be showing you all the metrics possible to keep you ahead of the curve. I appreciate you guys making it in that video. Please like and subscribe if you're not already. And as always, hodl, hodl, hodl. Peace.